Greetings folks, and welcome to the first in this series of vlogs where I talk about how my training's going for my first 100 miler. Yes, as most of you might know, I've just left the speed training block where I trained to get a faster parkrun, and I've just started my endurance block where I'm training for my first 100 miler at 60-year-old. That is my project 100 at 60. So the first 2 weeks I'm going to talk about today are basically a transition period where I'm switching from that speed focused training to the endurance focused training, because at my age I don't just jump from one to the other. I've got to transition from one to the other, otherwise I end up injured. So let's talk about week one. Week one, as I say, was the first of the transition weeks. So Tuesday, which is a zone 2 trail run, went out with the dog down the woods, and then finished off with 6 sets of strides. So total distance was about 7.5, 8 kilometers in about 55 minutes. So it's an easy zone 2 with some strides at the end, because I'm a big fan of strides. Next session was on Thursday, which was a sub-threshold effort. I'm looking to maintain the sub-threshold training across this block, and that will be the main focus of any speed work I do. So on week one it was 4 by 6 minutes with the 2 minutes recovery as usual, with a warm up and warm down either side. So that will total about 8.3 kilometers in about under 50 minutes. I was quite pleased with that. At the weekend there was no running because I went to Snowdon to hike Snowdon. Some of you might have seen the video, but if not, I'll link that down below. So I went and hiked Snowdon up the pig track and down the minus track. So that's about 12.5 kilometers. Did it with a few friends, and it took us about 3 hours 45 in total, 3 hours 50. So it was a great day out. The weather was really good apart from the top, so a great way to round the week off. I'm having a different focus on my strength and conditioning this block, so I found it difficult to get a decent length session in during the last block, so I've cut it up into lots of little chunks, because I can always get 15 to 20 minutes away from my desk every day. So Monday to Friday I'm looking to do that 20 minutes-ish of strength and conditioning work. So the strength again is going to be heavy. So as I mentioned in my last video about 3 important workouts, I'll link that one below as well. But Monday I did squats supersetted with curls. Tuesday was bench press supersetted with kettlebells. Wednesday was deadlifts supersetted with hanging knee raises. Thursday was my mobility flow session, and Friday was my physio exercises. The strength focused area, they are all done as 6 sets in total, with the last 3 sets being heavy lower reps, 6 reps, each starting with an empty bar with 12 reps to warm up and building up to those heavy sets. On top of that, I walk the dog a lot. In ultra training, time on feet's important, so I try and get the dog out a couple of times a day, about 2.5 kilometers. It's actually what I'm doing now. There she is, sniffing in the undergrowth. So as I record that, I'm out for about a 2.5-3 k walk with a dog. So that was week one. Week two, I had a long drive. On the Monday I had a long drive back from Snowdon, so Monday was a write-off. Tuesday, again, it was a zone 2 trail run, again with 6 sets of strides. I'm probably going to do strides quite often during this block, because I'm not doing any real high-end speed work. Tuesdays was about 8.8 kilometers, just short of an hour. Thursday, sub-threshold again, this time 3 by 6 minutes with 2 minutes recovery, and totaling 7.2 kilometers in about 40 minutes or so. Saturday was my first long run of this block, and it was about 18 kilometers, which took us about 2 hours, and I did it all in zone 2. Occasionally I might do a long run with some zone 3 pickups in, some zone 3 intervals in, but to start with, my long runs I'm trying to stick to zone 2. So it was 18 kilometers in 2 hours. The same as week 1, my strength and mobility was short, bite-sized sessions. As I said, Monday was a write-off because I had a long drive back from Wales, about 6 hours or so. So Tuesday was my bench and kettlebells. Wednesday I did the squats and curls that I would normally do on Monday, and I sacrificed the deadlifts. Thursday was my mobility flow, and Friday was my physio exercises. So that's the strength and condition for the second week. I am trying to focus more on my nutrition as well, trying to get my weight down, trying to make sure I get enough protein. So across the 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks, I probably averaged about 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, which is where I want to be. Maybe it's edged up a little bit, but I'm quite happy with that. So that, folks, was how weeks 1 and 2 went. I'll catch you next time where I'll talk about weeks 3 and 4, funnily enough. So catch us later, folks.